When someone passes, where do they go? Gone forever, or can they show? What if you could find someone between to bridge the gap of those?
I'm Michele Livingston, and I've been a spiritual medium for the last 30 years, appearing on Fox News, New York.
Hello, everybody. I'm Greg Jarrett. Welcome back to Breaking News. To be a really interesting guest for the hour, Michele Livingston is a visionary counselor.
On stage with medium James Von Prague.
Did anybody smoke, Richard?
Yes.
I smell tremendous smoke even up here. Was that your father that smoked?
My father and my mom.
On ABC News.
Air, oxygen everywhere, you can't see it, but it's here. Same thing with the spirit realms. So even though it's in a beautiful invisible realm, I have the capacity to tap into it and actually see them. He says, thanks for the balloons. I have no idea what that means. God. Do you have your mother's ashes with you?
My brother and I had necklaces made with her ashes in them, and I just took it off the chain tonight and put it in my pocket because I was curious if it would come up, and it did.
From the east in Harrisburg, PA, to the west in Hollywood, CA, I'm the People's Medium.
Hello, Michele.
Tony, hi. How are you? It's been a long time since we've been together.
It's been a while, but I'm so happy you're back.
I'm so happy I'm back too. And I'm really excited about this new book. It's my 7th book. And we're supposed to have been delivered 3 weeks from now, but it's called Inspirational Creatures, Extraordinary Animal Encounters, and it was delivered today.
Yay.
So talk about synchronicity, talk about timing. I'm just so excited. The book is, you can order it, from my website, and I'll sign a copy for you, or Amazon, or even Kindle.
It's a beautiful book, by the way.
It's a beautiful cover. Our webmaster out west, he is a visionary artist. He digitized the cover. So it's bright, it's colorful, it's inspirational creatures, extraordinary animal encounters. People were writing me stories about their beloved pets, and they do teach us lessons, whether it's patience or tolerance or even trust. They do heal us. They do befriend us. We love them. We always feel sad when they pass on over the Rainbow Bridge. But it's a beautiful, inspiring book. A lot of stories are in it. We had a thunderstorm about an hour ago and pouring down rain. I looked out the window. My husband took this background picture about 40 minutes ago, right before we were on the air. And it's the Rainbow Bridge. So all the animals are saying hello tonight. So if you have a beloved fur baby, cat, dog, whatever, bless you. I hope you're tuning in, and I hope you're on my fan page or being aired from Hollywood. Tony's out in LA, but it's also live on my fan page, and that's 1L, Livingston, the People's Medium. I want to tell you a little bit about the book. It's not just about stories about cats and dogs, but there are stories about birds and parrots, which are very interesting. Goats. Tony, you like this one. Remember your trip to the farm?
Oh, yeah. No, I love me some goats.
You fed the goats. Bunnies. There's a horse story. Actually, believe it or not, a gecko who healed a little girl with a lot of problems. She was allergic to fur pets, so she got herself a gecko, and it healed her and it helped her. A duck, squirrels, and even a deer.
Oh, wow.
So it is inspirational. It's kind of a chicken soup for the soul. Laughter and tears when I was doing it or looking over it, editing it for like the umpteenth time. I started to cry with some of the emotional stories. But I want to thank everyone right now have submitted stories from seeing my channel, from my website when they saw that I was going to write this book. People that watch the podcast, a lot of stories in here from those people. Thank you so much. It's just beautiful. So chapter 1 is called Soul Teachers. And I know that some people want to call in and talk to a pet today, wherever you're watching, or even possibly a loved one in heaven. And I've noticed after doing this work 30 years that sometimes a loved one will bring a pet through. So it's in tandem in a way, and it's getting more and more prominent. Wouldn't be at all surprised Sunday at my seminar at the Radisson Hotel in Pennsylvania if animals, beloved pets, don't start to say hello, those fur babies that we love. But soul teachers are important because animals do come into our lives, not only to teach us, but to inspire us. And again, we can learn so much from them. We're better people, I really believe, because of having that pet or animal with us. And is called Healing with Love. There are times, I know I get a lot of from podcasts. Actually, this is I think it's my third year, Tony, that I usually take a summer hiatus, but come back in the fall. So this is the first show for fall through winter. And people that call in many times are down, even they're empathic and they feel drained at work. They're giving away too much of their energy. But pets seem to renew us. They really do. So even though we feel drained, know that your pets are there through loving kindness to give back to you. And that's where unconditional love comes in. Cats are highly intuitive. I have 4 indoor kitty cats, and I have 2 outdoor cats. My one cat, Leilani, is a perfect healer. If I don't feel well, if I have a headache, she'll put her paws in my shoulders. I think of them as people, or fur babies, and she'll put her paw on my forehead. She'll rub my forehead, takes my headache away. If I have a stomach ache, she'll jump on me and knead with her paws where it hurts the most, and it feels better. My baby, I love them all, but she's my sweet Leilani. And to say the first story in the chapter of Healing with Love is called Saving Grace. I received stories from all over the country, from different people. Some people wanted their first and last names. Other people just wanted initials. They wanted just maybe some first name, last initial. But this is from a gentleman who was a soldier in Afghanistan, and he wrote to me, and his story is called Saving Grace. And I love it because it brings us hope. And he was fighting the Taliban and was really starting to show signs of PTSD, which is the post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of his soldier buddies that came back to America were having nightmares, and they were emotionally distancing themselves from family. He didn't want that to happen to himself. So he heard something under rubble. It was a bombed out building, and saw some movement, reached in, and by the scruff of the puppy's neck, pulled out a little baby, and loved that dog. Some of the soldiers had dogs, but if they found a dog, they would kill the dog if the soldier was dealing with it, and the soldier would become in prison. So he was really, really careful. He put the wee puppy in his backpack, carried him around. It's such a great story. And through a series of synchronicities, and you know how this can happen, he ended up in Kabul, which it's an animal clinic there. It's one of the very few in Afghanistan. They spayed his little girl. He was shocked to find out. He didn't really take a real close look, but it was a little girl. And they said, what do you want to call her? And he remembered his grandmother always loved Amazing Grace, the hymn. And since he saved her, he called her Grace. He got paper signed. It was really difficult to get dogs out of that country. But again, through some red tape and many, many papers signed, he was able to get little Grace home to America. A couple of months later, he drove with his family to the JFK airport terminal, and a carrier came down the conveyor belt, and there was his puppy Grace. And he said that he didn't have, the post-traumatic stress disorder through that. So she really gave to him, but in a way, they gave to each other. So those are the kind of stories that are in the book. And there's probably 75 different stories, Tony. Now you've had dogs. Have you ever had cats? I'm trying to remember.
Well, growing up in Kansas, I've had dogs, I've had cats. My sister's had horses. We've had pigs. We've had everything. Yeah, we've had it all. I wasn't a farm boy, but we end up having. Yeah.
Well, they say pigs have a mind of a 2 or 3 year old.
Oh, that's why I related so well. I'm just kidding.
Ironically, there's no pig story in here, but a lot of other pets. Chapter 3 is dream communications. Pets can actually send us signs and messages. And one of the things that we can do is dream of them. I know many times people say they've dreamt of a loved one who's departed and in heaven. But actually, I have to say, pets can cross the rainbow bridge and we can follow them when we dream of them, or they can come down with us, or we can astrally go up to meet them. So there are wonderful dream communications. One is of a Persian kitty named Scruffy. And this is a real scruffy cat. The lady was going through, her name's Jane, going through a really bad divorce, and she was down. She went to the Humane Society and found this Persian that was all matted, that had just come in, and fell in love with this little boy, for a baby boy, and called him Scruffy. She had him 15 years, and this little boy felt beautiful and really filled a big void in her life. But of course, they don't live forever. So Scruffy had kidney problems, and she took him to the vet overnight to make sure he got fluids and IVs. And that very night, it's an amazing, she had a vision. So you might say, well, what is the difference between a dream and a vision? A dream dissipates in the morning, but a vision lasts forever. I remember some of my visions that I had 25, 35, 45 years ago, and it's like I had them last night. She was walking through a beautiful green meadow. Everything was in Technicolor, she said. And the flowers were very large and very bright, and there were butterflies flitting around. And Scruffy, her Persian cat, even though he was at the vet that night, came running down this emerald green hill and stopped at her feet and looked up at her. And he was healthy. He was full of vim and vigor. And she was really just so blessed to see him. Before she fell asleep, she prayed that he'd have peace that night and that he wouldn't be afraid alone. And the vet called her the next morning and said Scruffy had passed. And she was so happy that she had that vision, because she knew Scruffy came to her and basically said, you know, Mommy, I'm free. Free indeed. And it changed her life. So, yeah, there's many stories of dream communications, Tony, which help us. I know I've dreamt of my kitty, Miko. I had a Balinese kitty. And she not only came to me, I did some automatic writing from her. She wrote me messages after she passed, and that's in the book as well. So it's a charming book, people. If you want a copy, it's on my website, michellelivingston.com. It's on Amazon and Kindle as well. Chapter 4 is called Guardians. Oh, thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
That's a good shot. Chapter 4 is Guardians and Friends. And I know that they become our best friends. And I've heard that over and over from people that submitted stories. One is called The Puppy Nobody Wanted. It was a little rescue puppy. It was headed for the pound. And a family adopted. It was a border collie mix, beautiful little puppy. And she was called Pepper Ann. And Pepper actually saved the life of the whole family. She was a beloved pet, but she got the lady awake about 3 a.m, barking. And of course, her husband slept through the whole thing and snored. But the dog took her downstairs and she went into the kitchen. The kitchen was on fire. There had been a loose wire behind the refrigerator, and she had the presence of mind to grab the fire extinguisher, and she put the fire out. If the dog wouldn't have done that, probably the whole house and the family would have gone up in smoke. So I love the way she ended her story about Pepper Ann. And like I said, sometimes I even get emotional after doing this book for 2 years. It took me 2 years to do it. She says, Pepper Ann, the last puppy nobody wanted, our mascot, our hero, and the dog we call friend. I love that. Who now in spirit, still and always will be very much a part of our family. So, Tony, if you would have had a story, I would have put it in my book.
I know. I could have came up with one, or at least made one up.
Oh, don't make them up. These are true stories.
I'm kidding.
So anyhow, yeah, it's a great book. And like I said, probably within the last 6 to 8 months, more than ever, pets are in almost every single phone reading I do. And I do, phone readings throughout the country. And it runs the gamut. A lot of exotic birds come through. I've had a horse or two. I've had lots of kitties and puppies. Now, I'm more of a cat lady. I love all animals, but typically I can see the color of the cat. And sometimes I get a name, sometimes I don't. So like I said, if anybody has a pet that they'd like to say hello to tonight, there is a number, right, Tony, on the screen there.
Yes, ma'am. 323-649-8268. Please give us a call. We're already getting people in the call line, so we want to hear from you.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. Whether it is a loved one in heaven or a pet or both. I mean, I had an email today. A girl said, I can't wait to see your podcast. I'm really excited. My dad passed a few weeks ago, and so did my kitty cat. And I said, well, tune in, and possibly we can get them both through. There is no distance with spirit. And the next one I want to talk about, too, which I love, is called Signs from Heaven. Now, animals can leave us or influence butterflies to flitter away. They can send dragonflies, just like human spirits can. They don't become or morph into the butterfly or dragonfly, but they can influence it to fly away. One lady had a dog named Moose who loved to watch butterflies. He was a huge dog. And so when he would run through the woods, he'd always chase butterflies, and he passed. And she said the family was out that September. They did the last cookout of the season, and a big monarch butterfly came and landed on the grill, top of the grill, which she thought was kind of odd. And it followed them into the house. And the butterfly went to the dining room windowsill and sat there and watched them eat. And Moose loved to eat. Moose was always overweight. So she thinks that her dog influenced the butterfly to come say, goodbye, I'm free. I'm flying free over the Rainbow Bridge in heaven. The other one that is amazing, too, is one that is an African gray parrot. And this was submitted by Mindy. She didn't want her last name given, and that's fine. Her brother-in-law was killed, and he had two parrots, actually. But the one he really loved was an African gray and named Johnny. And Johnny was so articulate with verbiage and with being able to speak to her brother-in-law named Jackson, that he even could whistle Jackson's cell phone ring. And he would call Jackson Dad. So she said after her brother's life was taken, or brother-in-law's life was taken, they waited a while for his widow, to get over that loss. It was tragic. And they went to visit her, and the parrots were together, but she said it was the most surreal event that ever happened to them. She said there was a cool breeze that kind of blew through the room, and the African gray named Johnny went to the cage and looked through it and said, "Hi, Dad," and was looking in the doorway. And she said they all got chills. They all looked in the doorway, and there was no one in the doorway. And the parrot proceeded to bounce his head up and down cock his head up and down, and talk for about 40 minutes to Jackson, who had passed on, which was his caretaker. He whistled his cell phone ring and said some very specific things to the spirit. And that, to me, is just amazing. And she said that the parrot hadn't talked at all since Jackson passed. And he only did it for about 40 minutes. And then after the spirit left of Jackson, the bird became a little down, a little depressed. Because animals are sentient creatures. They actually feel things, you know, they feel energy. And I believe that there are many times old energies, if you want to call them old souls, that come to live with us and be with us. And she said she thinks the parrot passed of a broken heart because it loved Jackson so much. So she says, I believe now they're back together. And she says Jackson and Johnny are probably sitting together, and Johnny's talking up a storm in heaven. Can you imagine this? A bird talking to a spirit. So,
That's a TV series right there.
I have to tell you. So it really does run the gamut. And I have had Tony and those that are watching many occurrences with woodland animals, raccoons, deer. We used to lecture at a spa in the Poconos, spa resort. It was called Woodlock. It was beautiful. It's probably 100 acres of land and a lot of pine trees. And I would do presentations at night and do consultations for the guests during the day. And we did this for 8 years. We were up there for 8 years off and on. But John also does hypnotherapy, my husband. And a client had come in with a booking for hypnotherapy, and the concierge desk never told him. John had left to walk around the acreage, which was so beautiful. And there was also a lake. And they called the room, and I kind of panicked. They said, John has to come down here. This client's getting impatient. So I called him quick from the phone in the room to his cell phone, and he had his cell phone turned off. And I thought, oh, how in the world are we going to do this? Because I didn't know where he was walking around. And a deer came up to him. This is an amazing story. Stood about 2 feet in front of John. And John was shocked looking at this doe. He took his cell phone to get a photo, off of the deer, opened his cell phone. And when he did, he looked down and it said, urge you to resort immediately. So he did. And when he came in the room, I said, what brought you back? He said, a deer. It wouldn't have been for the deer. And me wanting to take a picture of him, he said, I never would have gotten the message. So, somebody might say, oh, that's a coincidence. Well, I don't think so. I think the deer was a woodland ranger. So those are just some of the stories, Tony.
Awesome. Beautiful.
And one other thing I want to show is my little baby girl. Here she is. If you can see this. Let me get it without the glare. That is me and my baby Cocoa Puff.
And I said, is that a party hat on her head?
Yes, it is. It's her birthday.
So cute.
I know it's nuts, but there we go. So Cocoa Puff's on the back of the book. We always have birthday parties for them. And her birthday's September 2nd. And she's has the same birthday as my granddaughter. So we always have big parties, Tony.
That's adorable.
So on the back of this, it's for anyone that has lost a beloved pet. There's a write-up and wondered if they go to heaven like humans do. There's a lot of messages come to me. Is my dog or kitty really in heaven with my loved ones? And yes, they are. Have you felt the presence of a departed pet or animal, or even had dreams about them? That's a big one. Has your pet healed you, taught you lessons, and they really do, helped you through a difficult time with unconditional love? I'm sure most of you are saying yes that are watching and listening. And do you also have a pet that seems like the incarnation of another pet? I've had a few stories submitted where someone had a show dog, beautiful retriever, and couldn't get over the loss, and had other retrievers, but it was never the same golden retriever. And she eventually got another one, and she feels it's the reincarnation of her dog that won all the show titles because she didn't have to teach it anything. The dog would come when it was called as a puppy and give her, when she would say give, the dog would drop its toy in her hand. So many stories deal with reincarnation. So do you think, Tony, that a pet can come back in another pet's body?
I mean, why not? I mean, I don't see why it shouldn't. I mean, if we're just spirit and we're energy and we're soul, why? I don't see why it couldn't come back.
Yeah.
Because haven't you met a pet like, it's like a human. If you're like, oh man, I feel like I've met that person or known that person before. It's same with a dog. You've looked at a dog or a cat and you're like, oh my God, it's like a connection I used to have with so-and-so.
It is true. And it's funny, you can have 100 pets and they all have different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
They're like snowflakes, really. And that's what makes it so wonderful with fur babies, because they're like children. They all have different personalities.
I agree.
So how are we doing? Do we have a little video of my seminar?
We do.
Coming
and
up,
so
Tony?
if you want to take a quick break, and then we have tons of people in the call center. So
I'll take calls then.
yeah, we have also, we can go through some of the people that are talking on in the chat room. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have more of Michele, the people's medium. So don't go anywhere.
If you enjoy the Michele Livingston Show and want to see her in person, check out her next live seminar.
So here we go. If you can work with me, close your eyes. We're going to take 8 deep breaths, and we're going to start.
Have you recently lost a loved one?
Who lost a husband recently? I had to take a deep breath with him. I feel it was fairly quick.
Could you be the next one to get a reading?
I think I'm with you, sweetie. There's a name like Bree. Bree. They're showing me cheese. That's what. That's the new one. They showed me Bree cheese and her daughter's name Bree. See how this works?
This seminar will provide an experience that will truly enhance your understanding of the other dimensions.
When we get over there, we train to help 1 or 2 people that are on the earth plane, and we train to be their guides or their helpers.
And confirm that you
There's a dad figure coming through here.
are never alone.
Did you enjoy it? Oh, thank you so much.
All right, we're back.
Well, come out and join us. I think we have a couple spaces left. We're pretty full up, but there might be a space or 2 left if you're interested. Radisson and Camp Hill. Can't wait to see you. I'm going to have all my books and the new one. Some people pre-ordered it, and I thank you for that. So if you have and you're coming to the seminar, it'll be signed and ready for you. So what about some calls, Tony? Do we have any calls on pets?
Yeah, we sure do. So let me just look through here. I know I saw there was one on a horse, but here it is. So let's go ahead and take it. I think it's Susie, but I hate to even say somebody's name because then I'm always wrong. So here we go. Let's take the first call. 805. Are
Hello, this is Susie.
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Michele. I volunteer around a lot of horses at a beautiful ranch. And one of my horses passed away last week. I'm going to get emotional. He was a beautiful black Frisian. They're a draft horse. And this horse, I had such a connection with, his strength and everything. But he passed away unexpectedly, and we don't know why. I still don't know why. And I showed up one day that morning, and his body was still there. And I wanted to know if there's any sort of message that he wants to pass on.
Well, he wants to give you a nudge. He wants to nudge you, sweetheart. He wants to nudge your shoulder. And I'm getting something in the chest or heart region. And I don't know if something happened to his heart stopped, but he wants you to know he wasn't in pain, Susie. And he wants you to know not to have any guilt, okay, about his passing. Do you understand that?
No, I have no guilt. It was just I had him for a short period of time, a few months. And it
I
was
know,
too
I
short.
know. But the horse is very connected to you. And I have to say something interesting. That horse was with you in past lives. I don't know if you believe in past lives or reincarnation, but I know the horse was with you.
Somewhat.
Do you believe in
I
past
hope he was.
lives?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Yes. And this is a proud animal. I'm getting a proud animal, but a very loving animal. And
oh yeah, he would just watch me with others.
Yeah. And it's almost like he wants to put his nose or his head on your shoulder. He keeps wanting to go to your shoulder, Susie. What a majestic looking animal. And I'm going to say majestic. Very, very proud. Yes.
He was tall, pure black, and gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Black, like a black beauty. You may have a dream.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm seeing a really shiny coat. And you may have a dream of this one, because the communication's not over. Not at all. When you're out walking in the pasture or the fields, you're going to feel that horse near you or with you. I know you are. Watch for a dream, would you please, Susie, of the horse?
I will. Also, a dragonfly showed up today when I was working with another horse, and I was wondering, you mentioned it.
Yes. As I said earlier on here, they can influence butterflies, dragonflies. Creatures with wings are symbols of the soul. And a dragonfly is a male. A damselfly would be a female. So if your horse, of course, was male, it would be more of a dragonfly that would fly your way. And I know that I have to ask you, what's the March-April connection, Susie? Did somebody pass, or is there a March-April thing for you?
Well, I was born April 2nd.
Okay. There's a lady here, not to knock your horse out of the way. I don't mean to do that. But there's a lady here wishing you happy birthday in April. And she pulls her energy down during the month of March and April for you. It's more of a grandmother figure, honey.
Not my mom?
Well, it's your mom or your grandmom, but she doesn't want to look young. She wants to look older for me. And I do have to say, this soul or person on earth may have had difficulty in walking, which I find very interesting. And once you know that your horse has arrived safely, has crossed the rainbow bridge, and just wishes you all the best, darling. All the best. And so watch for March.
Thank you for what he gave me.
Yes. Watch for March time frame. You'll feel this female energy around you. She is a spirit guide of yours, darling. Okay, Susan.
I will.
So I want to say God bless you, honey.
Will.
Thank you so much for taking the time to call. And check out my fan page. Would you please?
I will. And you got wasabi on your book.
Oh, are you Wasabi's caretaker?
Yeah, he's at my feet right now.
Oh, for heaven's sakes! Your story's in my book, darling, about spicy wasabi. Wasabi's a healer of yours.
Is he?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he is.
Yes. He brings you calm energy, that cat. I love that cat. So if you get the book, Susie, if you get the book, darling, wasabi's in there.
I'm looking forward to it. I have it pre-ordered.
Are you in California, my dear?
Yeah, Southern California.
Okay. Well, if it's pre-ordered, it's on the way, Susie.
I look forward to it.
Mm-hmm. God bless, sweetie. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a great story.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Wasabi. Her kitty is, I do remember writing that story. She submitted. She didn't want her last name. That's fine. Just the last initial. That's the way it goes.
All right, you ready for another one?
Oh, absolutely.
This one, I'm gonna say, I think the first was a horse, and now this is a donkey. So let me see if this is the. Hi, you're live on there with Michele Livingston.
Hi, this is Lacey.
Hi, Lacey. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for taking the time to call in. And you have a question about a donkey.
Yes. So I have a donkey now that I had got with the donkey that passed, and then I also have a Shetland pony.
Mm-hmm. So what would be your question, darling?
Well, I had to make the decision to put him to sleep. So I just want to make sure. I mean, I went through multiple vets to make sure I was making the right decision, but he was really young. So it was a really tough decision to make because I know he had a pretty long life ahead of him if he would have been healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of like digestive problems with one that you put down. I really have a burning, isn't that something, down in my esophagus with the donkey that you put down, darling. And stomach problems, Lacey.
Yeah, I truly don't know what the problem was. The vets really couldn't give me answers. They thought maybe it was some type of infection through his body.
Yeah, and it was a digestive issue as well. So it was some type of viral infection, and I'm getting not a lot of pain, but some stomach cramping. You did the right thing, Lacey. I know it's so difficult when you love a pet like that, but you did the right thing. That needs to be said, sweetheart. And do you like cats or not, Lacey? Do you like cats?
I had one childhood cat. That was really all I had.
There's a cat here.
Yeah, I had one cat as a child.
It's your cat that from when you were small that came over the Rainbow Bridge to say hello. And it's purring really loud. And it wants to jump up in your lap. It had amazing eyes. And I do have to say that the cat is kind of like a guide of yours. It's helping you. And you're going to have some land or more land, Lacey. I don't know where you're from, but within 3 to 5 years, there's going to be more land for you. You like to get out in nature. I know that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My dream is to eventually have a farm and have like full-sized horses and, lots of animals. That's my ultimate goal. So it's exciting to hear that that's in the future.
That's going to be within 3 to 5 years. There's lots of acreage, beautiful trees. There might be a creek. I'm seeing a creek as well, and lots of horses and some dogs. You're going to be very happy, dear. So keep those dreams alive, will you, Lacey?
I try. It's hard, but I try.
Oh, come on. Be positive.
I know, but those things, they take money, and it's it's hard to have the money and the financial stability for even somebody to want to be able to give you a loan for those types of things. So
I know, but miracles happen, darling, and you're going to have land. So I have to tell you that. Okay?
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you.
Bless you, sweetie. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Oh, that donkey. Yeah, I did feel stomach and irritation in the digestive system. Wow.
I just think it's funny we had a horse and a donkey.
What are we going to tell me?
Like a joke getting ready to start.
Don't start. You are hysterical. Maybe a mule. We'll get a mule next.
Yeah, that'd be the mule. And the Shetland pony.
Oh, you're funny.
It's like the horse, the donkey, and the Shetland pony walk into a bar. No, I was kidding.
Oh, yeah. What was that joke?
All right. You ready for another one?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm having a good time.
Me too. This is fun. All right. Here we go. All right. You are live with Michele Livingston. Where are you calling from? Who is this?
Hi, this is Janine, and I'm calling from Maryland.
Hello, Janine.
Hi, Michele. Welcome back from your fabulous time in Europe.
Oh, you're on my Facebook. Oh, good. Thank you so much. I celebrated 25 years with my husband. We got a late start, but better late than never, Janine.
It looked lovely, Michele, so congratulations.
Thank you, dear. Did you have a pet pass, or do you want to talk to a departed loved one, Janine?
Well, I would love to talk to a departed loved one, but my pet that passed many years ago, I came across a photo of her that was like an ornament at Christmas time, like 3 days ago, and I hung it in my kitchen. And then when I saw that your show tonight was about pets, I just felt like she was really trying to come through to me. So it was just so serendipitous.
Yes, she is. Do you not want pets right now? Because that pet wants to come back to you, Janine.
Oh, well, I do have one pet right now who's very, very sweet. But I had a pet years ago named Prancer, and she was incredible and really smart. And my dog I have right now reminds me of her, except the dog I have now is way more nervous.
Well, I'll tell you something. Your dog sees Prancer. Do you know that animals can see spirits? And your dog is a high-strung dog, but I'm going to tell you something. When Prancer is around, your dog will bark for no reason or whine, Janine, or it'll go in the circle or go to the door or look up at the ceiling. Those are all signs that it's seeing another spirit. Okay. And so the spirit of Prancer is around you. I do have to tell you. And in the kitchen, Janine, don't laugh. Do you ever use towels or tea towels for anything? You know what I'm saying? Or pot holders.
Right. Okay.
Do you use them?
Yes.
Because Prancer is in your kitchen a lot. I do have to say that. That's funny.
I think Prancer's probably in the kitchen a lot because when we had her, anything that we ever spilled on the floor, we let her lick up. And actually, tonight I spilled some cheese. That's so funny you should say that because I called Luke over and I said, here, clean this up because I just don't vacuum the kitchen.
Well, I want to say Prancer's in the kitchen and notices tea towels and pot holders and everything, and was with you then earlier, loving cheese. And so the other dog sees Prancer. I want you to know that. So I know that it's an excitable dog that you have now, and one of the reasons is it's very sensitive, Janine. So just know that Prancer's saying hello. And you'll feel your dog in the kitchen. Okay, darling?
Okay. Does he have any?
I thank you so much for taking it.
Or is there anyone to come through? Because I have an aunt that passed away recently that I was very close to.
We're breaking up a little bit, honey. Can you turn the volume down on your? Are you on my fan page?
I'm sorry. No, I had the fan page off. I had you on speaker. My aunt passed away recently. I was just curious if she might be trying to come through.
Okay. Is that mom or dad's sister?
My mother's.
Mother's sister. I just see a lady who's had her hair fixed.
That would be
she
my
doesn't
mom
want to look old.
Or my aunt, because they were both alike.
Yeah. And your mom's passed, is she, Janine?
Yes, she is.
They're together. I want you to know your aunts arrived safely. I get 2 of them. And they both have their hair fixed. And your aunt hasn't been gone long, so she's still adjusting. But you've lost a lot of loved ones. And I know I don't want to get personal, but sometimes you do feel alone, sweetheart. And I have to say their love is with you more. I'm having a hard time with it. Yeah. And their love is with you more than you'll ever know, darling. I know you feel alone. Okay. But just cheer up. You have Prancer there, you have your aunt and your mom.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say good night, Janine. I got some other callers.
Thank you, Michele. Okay, thank you.
Love you. Bye-bye, honey.
Oh my gosh, these are good calls tonight.
I'm telling you, her dog from Spirit World wanted that cheese, Tony. Can you imagine?
I know.
I'm having a really good time. I mean, I just love animals. This is fun. I want the people on my fan page to know that I don't see comments right now till after the show. So if you're writing anything on there, I'll get back to you sometime later, tonight or tomorrow. When this is aired from LA, I don't get to see my Facebook comments. But thanks for watching and thanks for listening.
Well, I know they're loving it, and I think we should try to get just a few more in here. I think we had a dog, so let's try a cat this time. All right, I think it's Patrick, 203 area code. Patrick, you there? You're on with Michele.
Yes, I'm here. Yes,
Hello.
I'm here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Patrick. Hi, how are you, Patrick?
I'm good. I just want to first start off with, out of all the mediums and everyone I listen to, you come across so lovingly and authentic. I just want to start off with that. And and I just wanted to say, I know this is about animals tonight, but they tie in together. I lost my mother a year ago this July, and then a few months later I lost my cat, who helped me, just being there with me after my mom passed away. So I was just, I have other deceased people, of course, but those are the most recent, my cat and my mother.
Yes. Well, thank you for calling in, Patrick. I'm sorry about the loss of your mother. I do have your mother through, though. I do have to say, and you are her boy. She says, Patrick's my boy. Very, very proud of you and the way you've lived your life. Who's the baby boy? Who's the youngest brother? Are you the youngest boy? Patrick?
I'm the youngest of 5.
Pardon?
I'm the youngest.
I'm sorry. I thought so. Because she calls you her baby boy. Your mother knows that you took her passing really hard because I feel you were close. And she did understand you, Patrick. She understood you. There were some relatives in the past and other people that didn't quite get who you were, but your mother did. And she's made it to the light. She looks radiant. She looks radiant. And I smell beautiful flowers coming in with her. There's a fragrance, a potpourri of the most beautiful flowers. Where are you calling from, Patrick?
Connecticut.
Okay. Because I was kind of feeling maybe New England a little bit with all of this. Your mother is dressed very neatly, and she brought her pocketbook in with her.
Wow.
She brought her purse. And she's opening it, Patrick, and showing me what's inside. So everything's neatly arranged in the purse. I see a glass case. I see a coin purse. I see a little comb. Your mother tried to be in control to the very end. How was her mind again, Patrick?
She had dementia.
Yeah. So I want to tell you something, Patrick. When they bring the pocketbook in, it's a symbol for me that she's in control in heaven, that everything's neatly arranged and she's in control. When someone has dementia, their soul is kind of coming and going slightly. She knows you were there for her, Patrick. She knows you were there for her. And she's thanking you with a heart of gratitude, honey, for being there. Do you know anyone that's Catholic? Is there Catholic anywhere in your family?
Well, we were all raised Catholic.
Okay. Your mother's shaking rosary beads at me. And it doesn't mean she was Catholic. It just means that prayers are coming down to give you peace, because I see crystal rosary beads that are just absolutely beautiful. And then I hear a really loud purr. I have to laugh because I hear a really loud purr. I want to ask you if you ever had a striped cat, though. Ever had a striped cat, Patrick?
Yeah, my first cat was a tiger cat. He was gray and dark stripes. He only lasted 9 months, and then I got another cat after that.
Yeah. Tony?
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here.
We're breaking up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, Patrick, I have the striped cat through, which is funny. That's one of your first cats. Mm-hmm.
My first cat was.
If you can hear me. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then there's a darker colored cat as well. And where does the darker colored cat fit in, Patrick?
I only had 2 cats. The first one was a tiger cat, and the second one was a Burman cat, like light beige and chocolate ears. I'm not sure about the dark one. I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah, think about that one, and that could be one coming up from Spirit World, because I have a feeling you're going to get another cat, Patrick. And it's a darker colored cat, and it wants to come back to you. So it's one of these cats that have passed.
May I
just know your
question? I know you have other callers. Both my mom and my cat, there was major decisions to be made for them, and that's what I've struggled with for the last year of just rethinking it over and over. Did I do the right things for either one of them?
Yes, you did. You did the right thing. Your mother was ready to make transition, Patrick. She didn't want to be out of control. And I think soul-wise, she was totally ready. And so was your kitty cat. And your kitty cat has gone over the Rainbow Bridge. I'm not getting your kitty fully through. I have to be honest with you. I think your kitty's with you right now where you're sitting, though.
Okay.
So it has one paw here on earth and one paw in heaven. But you did the right thing, so you don't have any guilt about it. You had to do what you had to do, Patrick. And you were strong enough to do it. And so your mother has a heart of gratitude, sweetheart. And so does your kitty cat. Okay, sir?
Thank you so much. You really helped me a lot. Thank you.
God bless you, honey. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
All right. Cut out there for a second, but it was that was a good one. That was another good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, do you want to go?
I'm glad
go ahead.
Huh? Yeah, do we have time for one more?
Let's do one more. Let's give one more lucky person to have a reading with Michele.
Let's get that Shetland pony in here.
Let's try to find that Shetland. Let me see. Here's a 215. I don't know where that's at, but we're going to take it. I think it's Deborah. Deborah, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're on with Michele.
Hi.
Go ahead, Michele.
Hello, this is Deb.
Thank you so much. Hi.
Hi, Deb. What's your question, honey?
Hi, Michele. Hi. I saw you a long time ago at one of your seminars, and I've been trying to get to another one because it was so wonderful. I had a question about my pup Angel. She passed in December, and so it hasn't been quite a year. Being a nurse, she had cancer at the end. I was really, dressing her foot because she had a big tumor that was really enlarged. And, the weekend before we scheduled a home euthanasia because my daughter wanted to come home from college, and we wanted to be all around her and be with her. And, of course, the weekend before it happened was a Monday that we put her down. And, of course, that weekend she was so peppy and she was eating again. And I took her for a couple last walks and took her to a Christmas tree lighting ceremony. And everybody kept saying how cute she was. It was just breaking my heart knowing what I had. I didn't want to have to make the decision. So I feel like maybe I should have waited. But the vet confirmed that she wasn't. The thing could have burst or gotten infected, and then it would have been an emergency. So she reassured me I was doing the right thing, but I still hurt because she was so loving. I mean, I know everyone loves their animals, but she was a special girl. So
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, Deb. Thank you so much. Yeah, her leg would have had to have been amputated, darling. And this thing would have probably spread through her bloodstream. So you absolutely did the right thing. But she wants her ears scratched. Did you ever scratch her ears or rub her ears, Deb?
Oh yeah, I used to kiss her ears all the time. Like, she just smelled so sweet. So she got a lot of kisses there all the time, and she was just she liked her butt patted a lot. Like, she would always come in and just wiggle her hiney. So
but let me tell you what she does. She's very excited. She liked the windows down in the car. She liked, wind in her ears. And she puts her head down and she wants you to rub her ears and do things around the top of her head. So if you kissed her there or, played with her ears, she'd love that. And she truly is an angel, Deb. She's truly an angel. She's a spirit dog of yours. She'll really never leave your side. So I know you felt her. And she wants to keep bringing you gifts. This is funny. There's a blanket connection. I don't know if she laid on a blanket or liked to, suck on a blanket. What's something with a throw or a blanket? Can you tell me with her?
Well, I mean, I had a blanket down. She did like to cuddle on one of the blankets on the couch. I'd always have a folded blanket there, and she liked to sleep. And she always, if I had laundry on the couch, sometimes I didn't get around to folding it right away. I would just take it out of the dryer, and she would bury and just like to sleep in the laundry pile. She was funny.
Yeah, that's where I want to go with her. She wants to take me to the blanket and kind of cuddle or crawl under it. So it's just for you to know she's still with you, darling. Her love is still there. I get something that you needed to do, and it took courage to let her go. But I do have to say you did the right thing, Deb. You absolutely did the right thing. She didn't want to linger like that. She was a proud pup. She didn't want to linger, honey. So thank you so much.
She seemed like, she was trying to stay positive for me, it seemed. I have to say, I don't feel like she was in any pain. The last time I did the dressing change, she winced a little bit and kind of like looked at me sadly, and that's when I knew it was time, and that's when I made the call after I did that last dressing change. And well, it wasn't the last dressing change, but it happened on a Friday when I got home from work. I'm a nurse, and I got home to tend to her because they were just seeping through, and she just laid there so calmly for me. She was such a good girl because she knew what I was trying to help her. And I went to holistic vets. I gave her all sorts of things to try to save her, but I guess it was too late. So it was very hard.
Deb, it was. I know it was very hard, but it wasn't meant to be. But she's giving you some kisses. She loves you. She's going to be with you tonight in bed, darling.
Oh, she's going to be good. I'll snuggle my pillow. All right.
So have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much. Thanks, darling.
Okay.
Have a good night.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
That's the way to start it. It's coming back. That's the way to come back. That was a good show.
Yeah. It's a great show. I could feel the love. The love was just pouring through here.
Well, welcome back. And congratulations on not only the 25 years of renewing your vows, but also your new book.
Yes. If anybody wants a copy, it's my website. It's on Amazon, and it's on Kindle. So I want to say good night, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Message me, and I hope I see you this Sunday at the seminar. God bless everyone.
God bless, Michele. See you next time.
Bye-bye, Tony.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoy the Michele Livingston Show and want to see her in person, check out her next live seminar.
So here we go. If you can work with me, close your eyes. We're going to take 8 deep breaths, and we're going to start.
Have you recently lost a loved one?
Who lost a husband recently? I had to take a deep breath with him. I feel it was fairly quick.
Could you be the next one to get a reading?
I think I'm with you, sweetie. There's a name like Bree. They're showing me cheese. That's the new one. They showed me Bree cheese and her daughter's name Bree. See how this works?
This seminar will provide an experience that will truly enhance your understanding of the other dimensions.
When we get over there, we train to help 1 or 2 people that are on the earth plane, and we train to be their guides or their helpers.
And confirm that you
There's a dad figure coming through here.
are never alone.
Did you enjoy it?